If you want to install rear crash protection on a Harley-Davidson FXR, there are a few options out there. This particular kit is the original Harley-Davidson kit for FXRD and FXRT models. You can see that the number is 4914587. Apologize for the condition of this instruction sheet. It has been sitting in a box for years and I barely pieced it together, but I think it'd be interesting for folks to see this. I've not been able to find a copy on the internet, so here it is. At any rate, this kit includes two of these crash bars, the Harley calls them dresser bars, and also two U-bolts to attach the bottoms of the crash bars to the frame. Here's a list of parts and the installation instructions. Here's an image and a little warning here that basically tells you that these provide only limited protection, which kind of goes without saying. At any rate, each of the crash bars has a threaded stud right here. It's 3/8 inch and 24 threads per inch. They also provide a lock washer, which I'm not a great fan of these anyway. They don't do a great job retaining nuts in a high vibration environment. There is no flat washer at all for this particular assembly. And the U-bolts have flat washers, lock washers, and two acorn nuts. The threads, as you can see, are 5/16. It says 20 threads per inch. That's incorrect. It's actually 18 threads per inch. So that's pretty much the description of the kit. As I mentioned, there are two of these crash bars. This particular one is the left-hand side one. And what I'm going to do now is walk over to the motorcycle and show you some of the issues that you may run into when you actually try to install them. Also, I'd like to talk about another option that I think I'm going to take or use instead of using these. There are other types of crash protection you can install. So let's walk over to the bike and quickly show you. Okay, keep in mind this is not the final installation. I just kind of threw these on to show you guys how it goes on and what potential problems you might encounter. Right away you can see that at the top here I'm doing something different than the factory recommends. There is a fender washer that I'm using. It's a thick washer. It's about 1/8 of an inch, 3/8 ID and 1.5 OD. And so the reason I'm doing that is because, as you can see, this bar, the threaded portion of the bar goes through the gusset at the top of the FXR triangle, and this gusset is really not that thick. It's about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm trying to do is distribute the forces as much as I can. It would be nice if these were hardened washers, but they're not. Of course, I would prefer that. So if you look on the other side, you can see that there's another thick fender washer there, and the nut is fully threaded onto the stud. And what I would do in this particular case is just Loctite it without using a lock washer, because really there is no room for it. And I think it's better to use a thick fender washer than a thin one and then a lock washer there. So that's kind of the top part of the bar. By the way, there are usually these plugs that sit in this gusset and you have to kind of pry them out. Now when you look at the bottom part of the installation, you will see that when you tighten the nut at the top that I just showed you, there's a lot of space between the frame member and the bottom portion of the bar. So this space has to be taken out with something, and you see these plates that I've introduced here, and we'll talk about that in a second. But another thing I want to say is that, so this is the U-bolt that was provided with the kit. Take a look at this, and you can see that it's just really not long enough to be able to pass through the bottom portion of the crash bar. So what I had to do is use a longer U-bolt, and you can see right here the difference. They have the same dimension center to center, which is 2 1/16 of an inch. Here's the package from the new ones, so you can see that 4 1/4 is its total length. So these are 2 1/4. So these are much longer. Also, you can see that 1 3/4 is this distance right here. It's the distance between the legs, the inner distance. So 1 3/4 dimension here means that there's 2 1/16 of an inch eye to eye. Well, when I say eye to eye, I mean eye to eye with these U-bolt plates that you have to get. And I'll provide a part number if anyone is interested. I was able to get these from McMaster-Carr. That's the only ones that fit lengthwise. Some of these are longer, and you will not be able to put them in here because they will interfere with other parts of the assembly. As you can see, of course, this is not the final install. As I've said, these legs are too long. They would have to be cut off, and so that you could use, I think it's a much neater installation with the acorn nuts that were provided in the original kit. You'd have to cut them off and then use the acorn nut instead of the regular nuts. And then so here you remember that the lock washers were provided, but my recommendation would be to use something like this. I don't know if folks know what this is. These are Nord-Lock washers, and they're meant for, so each of these, you can see it's kind of a double washer. I'm not going to talk about these right now and how they work. Maybe I'll make another video, but that's what you want to use in high vibration environments, and this is it. So yeah. So I did mention that I was going to use a different setup here instead of this old school crash bar. I'm going to use these sliders. These are made by Bung. These install like so in place of the passenger peg, which has to be unbolted from the back. And so the reason I really like this installation is because you can see how thick that gusset is between these two frame tubes. It's literally, I think it's about 3/4 of an inch, so it's a very, very robust, beefy setup. And so there's a crash, I think this can take the hit a lot better than, you know, the flimsy gusset here, which is barely 1/8 of an inch, and you know, the skinny U-bolt that they give you.